everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Dusty Book Sniffers, and today we are here for round 3's bingo challenge, and it's the TBR video to see what I'm going to be reading, so let's get into it. Good morning or good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I prattle on about the books that I'm going to read for the next round of reading bingo that we have happening in our Discord. Alright, so we also have this happening in our Facebook group too. For those that aren't part of the Discord, you can find the form over there. I will leave a link down below where you can go and check everything out. But in our Discord, we also have a link where you can print off your form. I've made it big enough so you can make notes and all that sort of stuff. And scribble beside the numbers and everything. Now, I give this to you before the prompts come out so you can organise your TBR. And that's what we're here for today. That's what I am going to be talking about. All right, so without further ado, let's get into what I'm going to be reading. But before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it. And then that way you're not going to miss out on any future uploads. And while you're there, give this video a thumbs up as well. I'd greatly appreciate that. Alright, so let's get into it, shall we? Now, I have these in, I'm just basically going to do them in numerical order, how they appear on the sheet. It is not the order that I'm reading them in because we roll the dice each week, and every Sunday a short goes up on the channel, and that starts on the 30th of July. So if you're seeing this after the 30th of July, the first week's already been rolled. Just go back to the short shelf and you'll check it out there. If you're seeing this before, come back at 7 a.m. on a Sunday and watch that short. 30 seconds out of your life, maybe a bit longer, and you will see which book we read, which roll we've got. Okay, so I'm going to do these in numerical order. The first one is to read a book over 500 pages. Now, if you've seen my August TBR on Wednesday, you know that I have some chunksters, so I've tried to cross-reference some of these so I can get them done. Whether they're going to roll up in the first month, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But number one is read a book over 500 pages. So I picked up just let me change hands because you can't see it off that side. I have picked up Pearl in a Cage by Joy Detman. This is set in 1923. It seems like a historical fiction, and basically it's spanning two monumentous decades, capturing Australia's rural scene and heart. So I'm not going to go into any detail of these. These are all will get vlogged over time, so I will go into more detail about them and you'll get to hear all about them. But I will link them all up down below where you can go and check out what they're about and all of that stuff. All the good stuff, right? So that is number one. Number two is read a book with snow on the cover. All right, so, and I'm happy to say all of the books that I've picked have actually come off my physical TBR, which is great. So I got this one in a book grocer box. It's been sitting on my shelf, I think, about a year, maybe a bit less. I'm not too sure. Did I get this? Let me just see. There's no mark in it to say I got it in the Christmas box. So yeah, so I'm guessing it's one that's been sitting there for a while. So I'm just looking, and there's a whole heap of books here, and I'm hoping that this is not part of a series, but I will have to check that. But anyway, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it as standalone. It's snow on the cover. There is a ton of snow on that. It is Bury Your Dead by Penny Louise. So a little bit about it. I'm just going to read the first sentence. It says, as Quebec City shivers in the grip of winter, its ancient stone walls cracking in the cold, Chief Inspector Ahmad Gamache plunges into the strangest case of his celebrated career. So I'm guessing that they are standalone, but they're about one guy. So yeah, anyway, it is what it is. If it's a series, I can always try and find another one, but that one is on the list for now. Editing Nicole here. In the video, I said that Bury Your Dead, it was what I was going to read for the prompt with snow on the cover. Yeah, as I suspected, it is actually part of a series. It is book 6 in a series of 18 that follow this particular inspector. So I'm going to scrap that one out, and I'm going to substitute with the next one, the only other one that I had snow on the cover for is Winners. So yeah, so I'm going to swap it out for a Danielle Steele book. This one looked really good, so I'm going to actually look at this series, but I'm going to swap it out. All right, that's it from editing, Nicole. Back to your regular programming. All right, number 3 is a new author to you, and where have I got that? I picked A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Tals. I've had this on my list to read for a while. I believe this was on the long list. maybe last year on the either the Booker or the Women's Prize for Fiction. I'm not too sure how I come across it. But anyway, it ended up on my shelf, so I'm going to read that. And yeah, so that is a new author to me. I've never read anything by that author before. Number 4 is one with a bird on the cover. Now let me just find it. It's going to be... I had this. I did not have anything that I could see a bird on the cover. So I've got Trial and Error. These are crime classics. And yeah, so this is, I got this for like $5 down at Big W. They've got a whole heap of them, and I've just been slowly grabbing them. They're always good, quick books to read. Cheyenne retiring. Lawrence Todd Hunter decides to make one final contribution to humanity before he is claimed by a fatal heart disease. He will eliminate the most obnoxious person he can find. He commits the murder, but then an innocent man is arrested for the crime. So yeah, it sounds like a good read. The writing in it, like, it looks like a small book, but the writing in it is quite small. So, but it looks like there's a lot of dialogue, so that's not too shabby. So that was for a bird on the cover. Now you're probably thinking, where's the hell's the bird? The bird is actually on her clothes. It's part of her shirt. So yeah. All right. Number 5 is a romance, and I have been saying that I wanted to reread. Now I'm not a fan of Jane Austen, but I do want to reread them and give them another go, and just make sure that I'm not a fan, because some of the fans have said, what? You don't like Pride and Prejudice? Why? So I'm going to revisit it, because I read it pretty quickly the first time. So I'm going to slow down and read this one. I'm going to take the full week to read it, not read it in a couple of days. So yeah, I'm picking up Pride and Prejudice again. I'm going to make some notes of why I don't like it. Is it a hate read? No, it's not a hate read. I'm just rereading it. I just want to see. Number 6 is a book with one word in the title. And I picked... Where is it? Oh, here it is. I picked a Danielle Steele book, Secrets. Okay, I'm not really gonna... It's a trashy book. So, basically, it was published... When was this published? Because I got a whole heap of these just recently. This was published back in 1985. So, it should be full of problematic stuff. It's always a good reminder that why we're not like that anymore, right? Okay, that was number 6. Number 7 is read a book by an author that you love. And I cannot go past, and I haven't read this book before, but Juliet Cross is one of my favourite authors of this year that I have found, and it's Always Practice Safe Hex. This is from the Stay a Spell series. It is book 4. It's the one that I'm up to, and I believe this is oh, I can't remember what this is. I think this is an Enemies to Lovers one. I cannot remember. It doesn't say on the back either. It does say on Kindle though, what they are. I love the little graphics and everything, and these covers are just divine. So I'm looking forward to reading that one, and I've been saving them to read them for bingo and stuff like that, or when a prompt comes up. So that was author you love. Okay, the next one is to read a debut novel. I did not know when I purchased this the other day. This is going to be part of a Meet the Author for the first time. And it is a debut novel. I did not know that this was a debut novel. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading this one, The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. And I also got this as a free Audible book months and months and months ago. And apparently now it's actually going to be a series on Prime Video. So I'm looking forward to reading that. It's won a couple of prizes in 2019. It was also finalist for Queensland Literary Awards. So I don't really... it's a 9-year-old Alice grows up in an isolated idyllic home between sugarcane fields and the sea, where her mother's enchanting flowers and hidden messages sheltered her from dark moods of her father. So I'm not too sure what exactly else it's about. I'm going to stop there because I don't want to wreck it. But that is number 9, a debut novel. The next one, number 9, is a thriller, and I have picked, where is it? Slow Burning Fire. I found this one at a secondhand book place. I picked it up for $2. I loved Girl on a Train, so I'm going to read A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins. A couple of people said it's not as good as Girl on a Train, but that's okay. I'm going to give it a read. So it just says on the back, those people who think they have all the power, who think that we have none, we could prove them wrong. We could show them that we could be powerful too. And yeah, just the first sentence to the last, this explosive, startling novel grabs you and by the throat and doesn't let go. So, yeah, I have no other idea about what it's about, but I got this for $2 the other week, and it's already jumping off my shelf to be read. So, yeah, there's that one, which was a thriller. The next one is read a book that was gifted or you borrowed. So, which is number 10. This one here was gifted to me from Chrissy. This is also part of my August read, so I don't know whether I'm going to get to it or not, but I'm putting it on to my list, and hopefully it will spin up. Fingers crossed, right? So yeah, so that was a book that was gifted to me. The next one is a first book in a series, and I have gone with No Angel by Penny Vincenti. It is the first book in the Spoils of Time trilogy, and this one is set in pre-war London. Lady Cecilia is the perfect hostess, beautiful, intelligent, and determined. She throws glittering parties, published best-selling books, and enjoys her family and a loving husband, but there are tragedies her family will not escape. Centered around the Titanic, World War I, and the Spanish flu pandemic. So we have that one. All right, and finally, the oldest book. No, hang on, is that right? Gifted, borrowed, first in a series. Yep. And the oldest book on your TBR. Now, I went looking and I wasn't 100% sure what my oldest one was on when I got them. So I know that this book has been on my TBR shelf. It would have to be since it came out, maybe. So when did it come out? It's been a while, 2012 or 13, because I'm pretty sure I got this as a new release. And I've just never got to it, and it has been manhandled by my granddaughter. It's been dropped. It had marks on. It's got marks on the cover and everything, and it's never actually been read. So it is. The book I'm talking about is a memoir, non-fiction. It is written by Mitch Winehouse, and it is about his daughter Amy, who met her untimely death. I think she's in the 27 Club. So not that it's a great club to be in, but you know, all those famous singers that have died at the age of 27, and they call it 27 Club, which I think is Amy Winehouse. We also have the likes of Jim Morrison and a few others as well. I can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, so basically I'm going to read this. After all this time, I'm going to read it. So let's hope it spins up sooner rather than later. It's got a couple of photographs of her as a young child and stuff in it. You know, as she got older. I mean, she was a train wreck. At the end of the day, her life was an absolute train wreck. So I am looking forward to reading that and finally getting it off TBR. All right, so that is my bingo TBR for the next 12 weeks. This runs from 30th of July through to the 15th of October. As I said, each week we will have a prompt for you on our short shelf on Sunday, so make sure you tune in for that. If you've not yet subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and then that way you'll get a notification by setting the bell to all. And while you're there, don't forget to give us a thumbs up as well. Now, have you read any of these books that I've mentioned here today? If you have, make sure you let me know down below what were your feelings about it. Was a yay or nay? And if not, just leave me a book emoji and I know that you've made it this far. But as always, that's it from me. Have a lovely day. I hope you get lots of reading in, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.